بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بالجميع. Welcome all of you, my brothers in Islam, to the 10th lesson of Arabiyyah to Bayna Yadayk, Book 1, Part 1. And inshallah, I will continue with my beloved brothers. And last lesson we spoke about the high position that the Arabs have gained in the Arabic language. It's not surprisingly that there were no harakat at the time of the Messenger ﷺ. It's not something very amazing that you didn't have the Dhamma or Kasra or Fatha. But what amazed me really much is there were no dots. There were no dots. So how can you distinguish between the Ba and the Ta and the Tha, or the Jim and the Ha and the Kha? Just imagine if I write a simple word for you, like the word Baytun, and I remove all the dots, because each letter has a dot or two dots, Baytun. How can you read this word? So the Arabs, they were so strong in the Arabic language, they knew the context, they knew that this, just by looking to this word has only this meaning, has no second meaning. So they were so strong, and in the context of the sentences, that they did not need it, even the dots, and this is something very amazing. And that's why, subhanallah, when they reached this high status of the Arabic language, and the focus of the Arabs used to be strong linguistically. This was the main thing at that time. You can say it was their hobby. It was their entertainment. So when the Quran came, they were overwhelmed. They did not know what to say, because the Quran was something on another level, and their minds could not comprehend the level of the Arabic in the Quran al-Karim, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they entered fi dinillahi afwaja. They entered in large groups into the religion of Islam. Going back to the history of التشكيل, أول من شكل الحروف وأول من وضع علم النحو. So the first person to put a shakal and the reading signs, and as you know, a shakal is Dhamma, Kasra, Fatha, as well as other signs like Sukun and Shadda, etc. So the first one to put the reading signs on the letters, and the first one, وَأَوَّلْ مَنْ وَضَعَ عِلْمَ النَّحْوِ, and the first one that has established the science of grammar, هو من كبار التابعين. He's from the senior tabi'in. And the tabi'in are those who have met the companions. So every one that has met a companion in a state of Islam, he's called a tabi'i, and the plural is tabi'una or tabi'in. So this great personality, and I will mention his name, he was the first one to put the reading signs, Dhamma, Fatha, Kasra, etc. As well as he was the first one to put the signs of An-Nahu. An-Nahu means grammar. So in the time of the Messenger ﷺ, there was not a book about grammar, because the people knew grammar. They just got that like they got the milk from the mother. the breastfeeding. It just goes from young age. They don't need the grammar because they were eloquent. And when I say grammar, I'm not including everything, but mainly, for example, when do you say baytun and when do you say bayten, and when do you say baytin? This is one of the important grammatical topics. What do you do with the last letter of each word? Because sometimes it's baytun and sometimes it's bayten and sometimes baytin. And the grammatical rule, just very briefly, just to give you an idea, says that when a preposition comes before a noun, then baytun becomes baytin. When a noun becomes an object, it becomes baytan with two fatha. So these are one of the grammatical rules. They were not written in the time of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this senior tabi'i, his name is Abul Aswad al-Du'ali. Abul Aswad al-Du'ali. Subhanallah, when the science of grammar is being mentioned, the name of this great personality is mentioned as well. Abul Aswad al-Du'ali. He died in the year 69 of Hijrah, very near the time of the death of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very near. So he, Abul Aswad al-Du'ali rahimahullah, because this is the term used for other than companions, companions radiyallahu anhu, and the tabi'een and those after them until today, rahimahullah, for female, rahimahullah. In the books of siyar, of biography, the biography of the great personalities in the Islam, you find this letter ta. Ta means tufiya, he died in the year 69. The ha stands for hijrah. So subhanallah, there were many companions in his time. He met many companions. And he has established the science of grammar as well as he has put the shackle on the letters. When exactly was that? وذلك في زمن الخليفة علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه. And this in the time of the Khalifa Ali ibn Abi Talib رضي الله عنه. وذلك عندما انتشر الإسلام وكثر تابعوه في ذلك الوقت. So it happened in the Khilafah of Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, and to be more specific, within the Khilafah of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, when the Islam spread. وَكَثُرَ التَّابِعُوا, and its followers became a lot of the Islam at that time. في أنحاء وفي أنحاء من العالم, في أنحاء من العالم, in different parts of the world, people became Muslim. And they were not Arabs, many of them. فَدَخَلَ الْأَعَاجِمُ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ. So الْأَعَاجِمُ is the plural of أَعْجَمِيٌّ, what means foreigner. So the foreigners, they entered into the religion of Allah. And they kept their non-Arabic tongue, the non-Arabic language. They still had to learn the Arabic language. And you know that the companions, the Salaf, they used to focus upon teaching the Arabic language to the non-Arabs. No. And it happened even in the time of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Teaching how to write, teaching etc. وانتشر مع ذلك اللحن. And with all this good that people from different backgrounds enter into the religion of Islam, non-Arabs, because the Islam is not only for the Arabs. The Prophet ﷺ has said in an authentic hadith in Bukhari, I have been given 5 things none of the prophets before me has been given. And from them he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَكَانَ النَّبِيُّ يُرْسَلُ إِلَى قَوْمِهِ خَاصَّةً وَبُعِثْتُ إِلَى النَّاسِ كَافَّةً. Or كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, or similar to how he said صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said, and the prophet used to be sent specifically to his people, specifically to them, and I have been sent to all the people. So the prophets used to be sent specific, for example, to the children of Israel, who was Yaqub alayhi salam, specific to a certain certain shab, nation, but the Prophet has been sent to the whole mankind. So these people, they came to the Islam, they were not familiar with the Arabic language, and different parts of the world became Muslim, Persia, Afghanistan side, and behind that, so far the Islam reached towards Russia and China. So people became Muslim, and وانتشر مع ذلك اللحن. And with this, all this good, اللحن started to spread. What means اللحن? لحن means a grammatical mistake. So when I say بيتين, well, I had to say بيتان or بيتون, this is called لحن, a grammatical mistake. And I haven't mentioned here in this note, but I just remember that the Salaf used to discipline their children. They used to discipline their children when they used to make a lahan, grammatical mistakes, because it was a shame in the time of the Salaf to say, for example, daran, why it should be darun or darin, and darun is another word for house, like Baytun. But anyway, فشكى أبو الأسود الدؤلي ذلك إلى الخليفة الراشد علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه. So Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali, when he heard people, he heard new things. He never heard that in his life. People making these mistakes in the Arabic language. People who just became Muslim and they spoke Arabic language, broken Arabic language. So he complained this issue to the Khalifa, to Al-Khalifa al-Rashid, the rightly guided Khalifa Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. He complained to him because he saw things happening around him. He heard things pronounced in a strange way. So he complained to Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. فَاتَّفَقَا. So they both agree على حماية اللغة العربية. So they agreed upon protecting the Arabic language. Allahu Akbar. And subhanallah, up to today, you find people who are protecting the Arabic language in the Arabic countries. Trust me, there are people like the one I've mentioned to you. 50 years long, he's protecting, trying to do his best to protect the Arabic language. And you're refuting in the newspapers, refuting those who are trying to change the better for the less better. Changing the language of the Quran in the schools to another language that has been forced upon us. I mean, how far is Arabic from the French language? There's no connection at all. Not in the way the letters are being written, not in the way the pronunciation. There are so many letters in the Arabic language, you will not find them not in English and not in the French language. Why do you think that people who become Muslims, they have difficulty in pronouncing some of the letters, like the letter ha, etc.? Because there are many letters, there are letters in the Arabic language, you will not find them in any other language, in other languages. So, but those languages are being they are being forced upon us by the colonizer, imposed with force. with force. While there is no connection. Yani, is there any connection between, for example, the Chinese and the Spanish language? No connection. Is there a connection between French and Arabic language? No connection. Although they have taken words from the Arabic language, like I mentioned to you, and I gave examples, but no connection. And still, with force, they were able to teach the Moroccans, the Algerians, the Tunisians. They were able to impose and force them to learn French language, and our grandfathers, they have learned it, or many of them. So this shows us that the one who says, our brothers in the West, our Muslim brothers who are watching, or who, some who are not watching, those who say we cannot learn Arabic, it's too hard, turn the question to him. Say to him, your grandfathers in Pakistan, where the English language, or in India, where the English language was imposed, forced upon them to learn. How did they learn the English language? There's no connection between Urdu and the English language. And still, they have learned it. And we, Muslims, we give you a flower, we give you a present. We say, brother in Islam, this is the language of the Quran. We don't use the force that they have used. We say, learn the Arabic language so you come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we come from a different approach. So it should be easier for you to learn, because if something is aggressively imposed upon you, it's not like an invitation to bring you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by learning this language. So that's why, like I said, my brothers in Islam, you are able, inshallah, to learn the Arabic language. Because of the religious connection between you and the Arabic language. And there is no religious connection between what the occupiers have done to us in the previous centuries. So Ali bin Abi Talib and Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali, they agreed upon protecting the Arabic language. فقام أبو الأسود الدؤلي بوضع قواعد النحو. So Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali, he started with establishing the principles of النحو, the grammar. بتوجيه من الخليفة علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه. Under the instructions of who? Of one of the companions who has been granted paradise, Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, like in the famous hadith, Abu Bakr fil Jannah, Umar fil Jannah, Uthman fil Jannah, Ali fil Jannah. So, فوضع باب الفاعل. So Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali, he has authored or written the subject of al-fa'il. What is the fa'il means subject. Okay? وَالْمَفْعُولْ بِهِ, the object. When it's a noun, a subject. When it's a noun, an object. So the new Muslims would understand that. And he have written the topic of al-mudaf. Al-mudaf, what means the added, and the mudaf ilayh, the added to, ila akhiri, etc. It's not only this what he has written. He has written a rule of basic rules of the Arabic language. Is it all what Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali has done? No. كما وضع الحركات. As well, he has put the harakat على الحروف. He has put the harakat on huruf, and the harakat are only three: dhamma, fatha, and kasra. دون تنقيط الحروف, without putting the dots on the huruf. Aha. So the harakat, they came before the dots on the letters. So jim, ha, kha, they still look the same, Okay? You can only know by context, but still you had the harakat, ضمة كسرة فتحة. لكن الحركات في ذلك الوقت كانت مختلفة عما نعرفه اليوم. But the harakat at that time, the harakat that Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali has established, the Dhamma Fatha Kasr, they were different. In the time of Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, they were different than the harakat we know today. How is that? فكانت الحركات عبارة عن نقاط حمراء بالحبر الأحمر. The harakat at that time of Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, they were dots. Okay, imagine, brothers, the harakat were dots written with red ink. So they were red dots written with red ink. فالفتحة نقطة فوق الحرف. So when you want to say fatha, when you want to write fatha, like the word baytun, the ba has a fatha, baytun, you're writing a red dot above the letter. The fatha was a red dot above the letter. والكسرة نقطة تحت الحرف, and the kasra was a red dot below the letter. والضمة نقطة أمام الحرف, and the dhamma was a dot in front of the letter, a red dot in front of the letter. وكان هذا التابعي العظيم حافظا للقرآن, and this great tabi'i, he was also a hafid of the Quran, was known from the Sahaba and Tabi'in at that time, to be a memorizer of the Quran. كما كان غيره من الصحابة, like other than him was as well حفاظ of the Quran from the Sahaba and Tabi'in. فقام الأبو الأسود الدؤلي بوضع الحركات في القرآن الكريم. So Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali, this great tabi'i, he has also put the harakat in the Quran al-Karim. Like I said, the harakat at that time, they were dots in red ink. So he has done his job, and he died, rahimahullah, may Allah accept from him. All he wanted to do is to ease the Arabic language to the people. So may Allah reward him with the highest rank of paradise. But you will find that sometimes, when somebody does something, he puts a base, he lays down a base. Then somebody after him comes, another scholar, and he works on that base. That's what happened with Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali. After him, somebody came, and his name is Al-Khalil ibn Ahmad. Al-Khalil ibn Ahmad. When you say, for example, in the science of hadith, you have Al-Bukhari and Muslim and Abu Dawood and Tirmidhi, Nasa'i, Ibn Majah. Also in the science of Arabic language, you have some heavy names, some mountains. So Al-Khalil ibn Ahmad, he was the author of the first dictionary in the whole Islam, the first Arabic dictionary. It's not easy to say that, it's not a light thing to say this person, he has written the first dictionary in the Arabic language. So this is Al-Khalil ibn Ahmad, just to give you an idea about how heavy this person is between the scholars of the Arabic language. So Al-Khalil ibn Ahmad, Al-Alim al-Lughawi, the linguistic scholar, the scholar of the Arabic language, is Khalil ibn Ahmad. He has developed the harakat. And he died in the year 170 of Al-Hijrah. Al-Khalil ibn Ahmad died in 170 of Al-Hijrah. So he lived in the time of the great scholars, yes. والذي عاش في العصر العباسي, he lived in the Abbasi empire, in the Abbasi Khilafah. في زمن الإمام الشافعي, he lived in the time of Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah. And A'imma al-Kibar, he lived in the time of the great scholars. وهو صاحب أول معجم عربي. And he's the author of the first Arabic dictionary. سماه, he named this dictionary معجم العين. معجم العين. The dictionary of Al-Ain. Al-Ain has multiple meanings. Al-Ain can be the eye, but Al-Ain can also be a spring, a water spring, a source, a water spring. فوضع الحركات التي نعرفها الآن. So he has established the harakat that we know today. The dhamma, small waw, the fatha, the line above the letter, the kasra, a line below the letter. كما وضع السكون. And he also has put the sukun, one of his works that he has done, great things. Because before the people did not need sukun. Because they used to see the sukun as nothing. Sukun is just you stop at the letter. Like bi'run, you stop at the hamza in the middle. Anyway. وذلك لتسهيل القراءة على الأعاجم. Why has he done that? He's wasting his time? No. He's done this to make it easy for the foreigners to read. خصوصا أن البعض وجد صعوبة في قراءة الحركات التي وضعها أبو الأسود الدؤلي. Because some of the people, they found still some difficulties, although Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali has laid down the base and the foundation of the harakat. But the people, they still found difficulties, especially when it came to خصوصا في الحروف التي تشترك في الشكل, especially those letters they have the same shape, like the ba, ta, tha, jim, han, kha, and the dal and the dal and the ra and the zay and the sin and the sheen, and also the sad and the dad, the ain and the ghain, and the fa and the qaf. فقيل أن الخليل رحمه الله هو أيضا واضع النقاط للحروف. It's been said that he's the one that has put the dots on these letters. You see, so people now know that I'm talking about the new Muslims. The Arabs, they were still eloquent at the time. I'm talking about the new Muslims. They knew that the ba is a letter below, a dot below, the ta is 2 letters above it, and tha is 3, and the jim is like that, and the ha and the kha. Farahimahullah. Brothers in Islam, we will stop here. I will stop here, inshallah, and inshallah we will meet in our next class, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.